If you're an active retail trader, you've realized by now that brokers do not provide the tooling that you need to be a better trader. They show you your positions, they let you place and modify orders, they give you a few charts, but they don't help you answer questions. A lot of the questions that actually matter, the ones that are going to help you make more money and just be a better trader. So hi, my name is Paul. I started trading options about 16 months ago, and I've been trading other things longer than that. And like a lot of us, I hit a wall in my journey. I was not getting the information I needed to make good decisions, not from my broker and not from off-the-shelf tools. So I fixed that, and that's what this channel is all about, fixing that problem. I'm going to be spending time talking how I built the tooling that I needed and how you can benefit from that too. I'm going to be building what's called, or what I call, a portfolio operating system. It's a complete toolkit for retail traders like you and me who have even mildly sophisticated portfolios. So what were the problems that got me into this in the first place? Like, what problems was I running into? So right away, I was running into a problem of what stocks do I need to buy to and add to my inventory that fit my strategy? Once I have those stocks, how do I know that they're working for me? Am I making the money I expected to make off of them? Are they the right industries? Things like that. What's my real ROI? It's actually a tricky thing to figure out. And then I started using margin at one point, and I didn't know, like, is my margin healthy? Am I using it in a smart way? Am I diversified? I thought that I had a pretty good portfolio, but I came to realize that in fact I had a cluster around silver, not just silver ETF, which is a popular one, but also just silver adjacent properties. So didn't realize that. Broker tooling wasn't telling me that. Broker tooling doesn't tell us about how to learn from mistakes, so we don't repeat them. Doesn't even tell us, like, when we did something really good, how do we double down on that? Because it doesn't understand our strategy. It's really just a tool for recording what happened in the past. These are just things that brokers are not helping us with. So like everybody, I'm sure just like you, I started with spreadsheets. I reached for Excel, and I started to build spreadsheets. And this is kind of what mine looked like when I started. Going back to February last year, I pulled in information from my broker, and I started off with a little bit of a summary, and then the following month I got a little more sophisticated, started tracking a few extra pieces of information. At one point, I was trying to figure out what-if strategies and building a dashboard, and all that is, pretty good, and I felt pretty good about it for a while. But the fact is that Excel is pretty brittle. Once you start getting complicated with it, it gets really hard to maintain. And ultimately, it doesn't answer a lot of the questions that you need answers to anyway. It's great for giving you, again, that snapshot of where you're at, but it doesn't help you make decisions about what you need to do in the future. So I went and built an app, because when I look at Excel, I see a database table and a UI. I've been a developer for over 30 years, and I know how to build databases, and I know how to build UIs. And so that's what I did. And this is what it looks like. I have here for myself a bit of a stock screener, helps me identify what stocks I want to add to my inventory. Once I have them in inventory, I can see what they look like. I can see information about them, my basis, some history of what I did with them, and I can use that to help me make better decisions. I can see what my margin situation is like. I can see how my margin efficiency is. I can do things like calculate the impact of a stock market shock on my margin. What happens if the market drops 10% overnight, 15%, 20%? I have some visibility into that. My broker tool doesn't tell me these kinds of things. So that's how this thing all came to be, because I needed to get answers to those questions. And these are things that we all need answers to. So why am I building this tool? So the fact is that the tool I have right now is great. It works, and I use it all the time, and I love it. I've been doing this for a long time, this coding thing, and I can tell you that I really love this tool. But the fact is I've outgrown it. It reflects a learning journey for me. 16 months ago, I just started with options, barely knew what I was doing, had a pretty decent grasp on fundamental market mechanics, but in a lot of ways I was short. My knowledge was very short. So I built it out feature by feature as questions came up, question by question, And now 16 months later, I have a much better handle on what my strategy is, much better handle on my risk profile, better understanding about options in general, and I know what good tooling looks like. So I'm going to start over from scratch. So I'm going to rebuild this tool. I'm going to do it in public. I'm going to make it available on GitHub so anyone can use it. So this is free. This isn't some announcement of a product I'm selling. And I'd love it if people contributed to it. That'd be great. The first version that I built was vibe coded. Not beginner level vibe coding. I'm an experienced developer, so I was able to wrangle the AI pretty well, but it's not the way I would have written it today if I was starting over, and it's not the kind of thing that I would necessarily want one of my peers to have a look at because they would have some pointed questions for me. So instead, I'm going to be using a structured process called spec-driven development, or SDD. And SDD is just a way to harness AI coding agents so that when you build code with them, the code is consistent and maintainable, and it just doesn't turn into a giant mess like it happens with so many vibe-coded projects. So you're going to see exactly how I do it. And so what are you going to see on this channel? The very next video is about mind mapping. I'm going to be using go through a mind mapping exercise to define the vision of this product in more detail and what its features are. I'm going to spend time doing architecture, going to spend a lot of time talking to AIs and using SDD to do that. I'm going to most likely be deploying this to the cloud because I anticipate there will be non-technical end users who don't want to download stuff from GitHub and figure out how to run it locally. And beyond just doing the technical side, I'm also going to be talking about trading concepts. I'll be talking about stock selection and risk management, journaling and running and conducting experiments and learning from those experiments. I'm talking a lot about margin and risk, and not just the risk part of margin, but the benefits of using margin. Basically everything I've learned in the last 16 months and everything I'm going to learn in the next 16 months and hopefully longer. So I'm excited to share this journey with you. If you're interested in trading or software engineering or building sophisticated apps with AI, I think you're going to find something really valuable here. Like I said, in the next video, it's going to be a mind mapping exercise. And if you haven't done that before, you're in for a treat. And coming out of that, we'll have a vision and an initial feature set. And then they're going to start working on building out the next steps, data models and coding up the app itself. So if this sounds like your cup of tea, hit subscribe and let's build this thing together.